So to finish things up, obviously fast forward in the time to night, so I can fight a Death Bird. Now, this one has made it into the final video because, well, one, I missed it, and two, it absolutely decimated me. And it wasn't because of the ads or anything like that, you know. I don't even think they all get involved, to be honest, but just so many of the attacks. The AoEs nearly finished me off. Even though this clip is actually a kill, this thing really it just constantly had me on the back foot. I think I actually did have some pretty clean runs through, but the one where I actually get the kill, of course I get hit by absolutely everything. But you know, the trade-off is I get the damage off on the bird, so I win the fight. But yeah, it killed me quite a lot, and it's really frustrating because you have to keep fast forwarding the clock every single time you reset. So a lot of the rest of the video is me tying up certain quest lines and engaging in NG Plus content. So this fight is significant because following this is where I get the drill spell. Is what I call it. What is it actually called? Is it like Crystal Spiral or something like that? Anyway, it's possibly I'll always be a darling pupil. I feel that way too, Sam. But yeah, it's potentially the strongest spell in the game, the most useful one at least. There's not many that are so versatile because it's straight shooting, but it's a straight shooting spell that has significant DPS against anything that's a bigger target, but even slow moving targets, if it has an opportunity to just burrow its way in because they're sort of holding their position, it still does huge damage. Now at this point I'm charging it, I think in the start of this fight. I don't pull it out right away, but that's not the way to do it. The way to do it is to cast loads of them, and you know, I eventually do figure that out. At the minute I'm just basically teaching them out of these late game areas for anything I might have missed. I'm actually surprised to find out I missed loads. Like a shot spot. So here I go, charging it, because usually that translates to the way to do it. You know, charging everything else makes sense, but no, not this. You just want to spam this as much as you can. Really. I'm also engaging in a range that's terrible because it's going to dissipate by the time it gets to him. So here I am, pretty underwhelmed by the damage, not realising that it needs to be close and that it can really go to work on his hitbox. Do eventually figure that out. But obviously this is a great opportunity for Founding Rain of Stars, and of course he takes huge amounts of damage. By now I've used this to beat several important bosses like Elden Beast, etc. Getting a couple of Founding Rain of Stars off underneath the feet is amazing, because obviously they're going to twist and turn around to get you, but he's already dead. There's no recovery from that. Very powerful spell. So, to be honest, this is probably where the spell is at its most weakest, when you've got an enemy that's quite agile. It's just going to be moving out of the pathway. But as you can see, it's still doing damage. It's still delivering. It's just not it's not super duper devastating. But it keeps across at this point. I'm still charging it, which isn't really the way to go. But, you know, even used poorly, this spell still does a lot of damage, as long as you're close enough for the full drill duration to actually take effect. And that is what I kept finding. So here we're playing Fashion Souls a bit, feeling very end game. I actually just read this for a small amount of time, just to just for a bit of footage, but I eventually took it off because I just like my old hoodie, my astrologer's hoodie. So this is genuine footage of me just being like, wait, I know there's supposed to be some chaos area, where is it? And there's me genuinely finding it. But yeah, I was quite surprised that that's all you had to do. I thought it was going to be a wall you had to attack. I was trying all sorts. So you end up getting nice yellow eyes there. Scary.
I am of Melania's blood, but in what capacity?
I thought this bit was funny. We practically look like brother and sister.
Or an offshoot.
I know it's because obviously I've got Melania's gear, but so there were just quite a few tie-ins that you know, links throughout the game and bypasses and stuff like that that I didn't know about until I completed well, basically until I completed it, and then following guides to get everything else. Like these guys, it's one of these things in the bottom of the academy, and if it captures you, it kidnaps you, just like in Bloodborne, those guys with the sacks, and it teleports you up into like Mount Gelmir, which means you can bypass like a huge amount of bullshit, which is really nice if you're going into NG Plus and you're not actually looking to kill everything. So that just took me into a whole new area. Is me coming out of it, and yeah, you just basically like steamroll your way into the profane capital. It's really handy to know. Oh yeah, so here's me making a sick jump on the horse, which bypasses that bridge, by the way. Early game you can do that. Again, another really handy little shortcut if you don't want to have to deal with just going across the bridge. I know it wouldn't have gave most players too much of a challenge, but you know, it's the difference between avoiding a fight, isn't it? If you just want to run and go get the bonfire. So the spell's really starting to take off now. Hitting these targets like when they're just like, I don't know, planting their feet, and then when they get on the ground they take even more damage because their hitbox has gone like horizontal. I have as much luck with women in real life as what I do in this game.
I will kill you. As sure as night follows day. Such is
Cruel. So this is a good little showcase of how powerful the spiral is. So I'm still running this very much in a way where I'm thinking I'm gonna get some melee DPS in, but when the spiral goes to work, it is just like, it just hits everything. It doesn't matter if I'm hitting the right target on this guy. It's just gonna keep drilling through, causing more damage. I'm not sure if that's why it's continued to take so much extra damage during that cutscene, but look at what this does now. This is fast spamming spirals. Okay, so I've casted 6 now. It's just dead. It's just dead. And this is NG plus fire giant. You know. Huge amounts of damage. But it's not even because the spell is broken, it's just mechanically it's really, really like heavily scaled if they've got a big hitbox. So it just means you're going to be hitting the same mob over and over and over. So in order for it to be like relatively balanced for mobs your own size, it has to be really, really strong against things that are much larger than you. Which is fine, because you think about it, it's a decent trade-off for those mobs so easily being able to hit you, because they've got huge hitboxes. I think to those like ulcerated tree spirits, you know, it actually seems fair having something that can do so much damage to them, potentially stagger them. So I don't remember Godfrey giving me any trouble really on this first NG plus. Obviously I've got my my Chaos Boy. What is it? Shibiri. He replaces Melina. And we've got the Melina. Is it Melina? Yeah. When she fucks off and leaves you because you're going down the chaos ending. And I mean, this stuff looks flashy to be honest, but I'm not sure it actually does anything. Maybe it makes more sense if he's actually fighting something that can be like sent insane. And for whatever reason, Horaloo just sort of fixates, and I find it pretty easy to just dominate. But yeah, in this playthrough, in this NG Plus playthrough, he wasn't really much of a challenge, but later we've got a clip of this same fight, NG Plus 2, and for whatever reason, he becomes really, really tough. And I'm not sure what it is. Okay, so right now I've had a chance to upgrade a few different weapons that I really wanted to try. So this is like an insect wing. So a lot of this scales with int, so it makes sense that I'd be able to like put this into practice. Give a bit of dual wielding a go. And I thought, why not give it a chance with a boss that I knew, you know, is well designed, and I had fun with it. I didn't take too much damage really, considering. Maybe too many special attacks, but pretty much tore through him. It's a good style. I think if you're going to go down an int build, like having this sword as an option isn't such a bad shout. I obviously went through 2 playthroughs to get 2 of them, so you know, dual wielding it might not necessarily be on the cards, but you can you get it really early? I don't think you can get the sword really early. You had to like go behind that huge thing that was walking. Not walking. That huge thing that was hanging down in one of those like down below areas. So this guy is just like, you know, I use a special attack, then again I use another normal and I'm immediately dead. And I am just reminded of someone telling me that actually melee in this game is just fucking bait, like you just have an easier time as a mage. And by now I'm a real prestigious mage, so obviously I'm gonna just mess this guy up now with all of my completely overpowered combos, because I know what I'm doing. But he stands no chance now, but it's just the fact that that bloody auto parry just makes him so strong. But what can he do now? Like, just try and hit me in this. Utter dominance, but yeah, that's the thing. By the time you come out the end with spells of that magnitude, you're really not gonna die to any PvP mobs. They've not got the same they've just not got the same scaling required to give you any kind of trouble. Because your spells have, you know, they've essentially got a level of crowd control that like melee won't necessarily have. I mean, you could change up your weapons and have something really, really heavy hitting. That potentially like poise breaks, and, you know, maybe that could carry you through. But if it's a case of, you know, them hitting you before you hit them, then that won't really change anything. The only way that you could change things up is if you've got like real stronger armor. But as a mage, like I'll never have to get that close. So as long as I've got superior firepower, it's like having superior artillery in war. You know, I don't have to go close to them to already win. And that's basically the whole problem, you know. As soon as magic comes online, it is very, very hard to scale things up so that it can be brought back down to size. And the only way I think that it can is if a boss becomes particularly tanky, so that they can pull out other parts of their kit that they can be obnoxious with. And some get that way, to be honest. See, by now I'm feeling like the powerful wizard that I wanted to be. I'm pretty much a match for Renala. I've got as much jazzy shit as what she has. But of course, I've still got summon as backup, because, you know, I'm not just gonna let a free cast happen. Can't believe I got hit by that move. But you know, it seems fair because she obviously pulls out air summons. And her summons are, I don't want to say nastier than mine, because it's not always true. I mean, that giant is nothing. But when she pulls out the dragon, you know, finish off with pulling out the swords, because, you know, you've got to do it. So here I am back again, which means I must be on NG+2 now, I think. So I've took this shortcut again. It's funny that a shortcut actually takes you through a boss room, but it's quick and easier to come through here than it is to do anything else. Look at this. So they line up spirals. Incredibly fast boss kill time. And that's it's just another bonus of that spell. Reminds me of like the piercing ammo in Monster Hunter. Like you essentially just, if targets are lining up, like, and the wings were sticking out, you could hit them for like, I don't know, 9-10 iterations or something like that. But 2 targets lining up is just as good. You know, you hit them for 5 apiece, you're still hitting 10 hits. It's like really good damage economy for the amount of ammo used. And I mean, here right now, even just me butchering this encounter, it's like none of these kills are particularly clean, because I'm just there like, just come on, just blast through this now. But you know, it's difficult to give the enemies the respect when you know how strong your spells are when you get them right. And I'm not looking for perfect execution. I think that's a lot of the problem. I actually end up like from NG+1 Malekith, I've gone from having increased magic damage and health regeneration flask to, I think it's damage mitigation and health regeneration flask. So in a lot of these clips now, when I take my flask, I am really tanky, and it helps a lot, like being able to regenerate and also like mitigate a lot more damage is what basically changes the way you play, because it, you know, most of the time you just have a lot of firepower because you're a mage, but you no longer need that. You don't need to channel things anymore because so many of your spells are so potent otherwise. But the main reason why you would want something like that is because for a short space of time short given space of time, you basically need to be immune to mechanics that can one-shot you, and then that basically changes up the whole game. Because as soon as those one-shots are out of the equation, it's just a case of picking the right trades, and yeah, the bosses pretty much, I don't want to say they become jokes, because it's not even like that. You still die a lot, but there's no, oh, 1 foot's out of place, you've ruined a playthrough. And it felt like that throughout the most of the base game, to be honest. Like, you put a single foot out of place. I mean, how many of them Black Knife assassins grab me and stab me and I'm dead? It's like, that is, that's the difference though. It's like, at this point I'm no longer the glass cannon, but it's purely down to clever use of flask. Melania's armor, which, I mean, to be honest, it's not groundbreakingly changing, but it is an improvement. I mean, you know I know how to do this with spirals now. It's over. Fire Giant really becoming the easiest boss in the game because of that. I mean, per, amount of damage that he's actually taken. Yeah, surprised that these two are still as challenging as what they were. You know what it is? It's that guy with the pokey sword. He is always just as obnoxious. Like, you can't quite write him off, no matter which version of the game you're actually in. But if you cast just right here, again because they're a duo, the spiral, you can obviously hit them both. I'm not sure if I actually do that in this video. Here you go, swapping the spiral. It's just understanding that. Because they move around a little bit as well, so they can move into it. There you go, you gotta be careful. Look at that, all that stabbing, like that is a real, it's a real harsh reality when you're wearing a dress to get caught by that sword, honestly. And this is another reason why, the tankier flasks come into play. It's like one of those combos it's too much for any dress wearer. But it's like a lot of this magic stuff. That ain't the scary part of the fight. Yeah. I don't want to say it's doing nothing, but it's just not as bad as any of these sword attacks. And it's mainly just the combos that get you. It's not even it's not the single individual strikes where they like sort of hold it for them to catch you out. Oh yeah, this is an honourable mention. This guy, like, when I say about the scaling up of NG+, you suffer so much against this guy because he just becomes tankier and tankier, and so many of his spells just seem to be like guaranteed damage. I really struggle to dodge that lightning thing. Just don't know how you're supposed to do it. I never quite get the timing right. But, carefully, over time, I get the trades. Pretty much have to pop everything just to beat him. Then go reset at a bonfire to come back through to the boss. Which is ridiculous. I thought I one-shot this actually. On NG+2, but my souls are clearly in there in the video, so I guess I didn't. But I do remember this one going down quicker than the first NG+. He is hitting kind of hard now. I'm not sure if that's because I've not got my mitigation on for this pull. I'm pretty sure I have, because I'm pretty sure that was how I ended up being able to beat it. That might be why it goes on actually, because you can already see how much damage is being done. And obviously, like, just the health regeneration in the first instance was enough. But now, like, when I get hit with the destined death shit, it's like, okay, I really need to make sure I'm not taking any additional damage. And it is about surviving, because you do enough damage with the spiral. So that was a pretty like quick kill. It's a good feeling to feel like a boss like that is that easily beaten. I actually wondered how well the spiral will do against Melania. I haven't been back to fight her again. See, here's Horaloo now in full Heihachi mode, dominating me. But yeah, I haven't been back to Melania. Mainly because I'm scared, I think. It's kind of like Orphan of Cars, I never went back. I finally beat it and it's just like, well, you know, I don't ever want to have to go through that again. I mean, it probably won't be as bad as how I remember it, but you know, it's I'll probably go back to Melania, to be honest. She is just a good fight, but she was tough. It's like Marta Ligarius though, I remember him being really tough, but he's much tougher when you take him as early as you can. And most people don't. Most people just deliberately ignore him until the end and then go back to him, which is funny because obviously his area is way weaker, so you know you're supposed to fight him sooner, but a lot of people don't. I think, I can't remember what level at 40. It wasn't very high, but yeah, this is a real good example of the scaling up, like becoming a bit of a monster. I don't know why Horaloo is just all of a sudden such a monster, but it's even messing up Black Nartiche, to be honest. I think it's because so much of this stuff is just AoE, like real solid AoE, hitting every direction. But the summon is always getting hit. I was taking a lot of damage. And the Elden Beast takes an enormous amount of the spiraling damage. But here's the thing, so it casts this thing on you, and that's obnoxious. So that homes in on you, and then it fires like tiny little projectiles that keep following you. And while I'm trying to worry about this, I'm like, oh shit, the Elden Ring spell is coming in. Need my positioning. But I couldn't get away from it because I'm trying to dodge, and then it's already firing all these rings at me. It's like, this fight is so messy. I didn't actually enjoy that fight at all. Here to wrap it off, I of course am putting myself on the throne. Melania's cringy feet with the toes. I had to do it, I had to have the matching set, but that is a weird armor set to me. I do look so sick. And now we have it. Fully game over. Chapter 12 complete. I may well do another chapter following for DLC, we'll see. But yeah, if you have watched all the way to the end, God bless you. Peace.